Chapter 9. Monopolistic Competition and Oligopoly. Monopolistic competition is characterized by a large number of sellers that have small market shares, cannot collude, and act independently. Differentiated products which allow firms to have some control over prices, and easy entry and exit. Products may differ in their attributes, services, location, brand names, and packaging. Examples of the industries that have monopolistically competitive structure are furniture, jewelry, leather goods production, grocery stores, gas stations, restaurants, clothing stores, medical care, and the like. Monopolistically competitive firms engage in non-price competition, such as advertising, in order to differentiate their products. Because products are differentiated, the demand curve of a monopolistically competitive firm is not perfectly elastic, although it is more elastic than a pure monopolist's demand. The price elasticity of a firm's demand is higher the larger the number of rival firms, and the weaker the product differentiation. In the short run, the monopolistically competitive firm uses the MC equals MR rule to maximize profit or minimize loss. It produces a quantity Q at which marginal revenue is equal to marginal cost, and charges a price P based on its demand curve. When price is higher than average total cost, the firm earns an economic profit. When price is below the average total cost, the firm incurs a loss. In the long run, because entry and exit are easy, economic profits attract new firms, which lowers profits of existing firms until price is equal to average total cost. Economic losses make firms exit until price is equal to average total cost. As a result, a monopolistic competitor will earn only a normal profit in the long run. To graphically represent short-run profits in monopolistic competition, we plot the demand and the marginal revenue curves. They are more flat than in monopoly, but not completely flat. Profit is maximized when quantity is such that the marginal cost curve intersects the marginal revenue curve. The price is determined by the demand curve at this quantity Q. In this example, because price is higher than the average total cost, the firm makes economic profit. In the long run, because firms make economic profits, other firms are attracted to the industry. This lowers demand for each firm's output due to increased competition. Entry will continue until all firms make zero economic profit. That is, demand is such that at the intersection of the marginal cost and marginal revenue curves, price is just equal to average total cost. Let's compare monopolistic competition and pure competition. In monopolistic competition, firms face downward sloping demand, while in pure competition they face perfectly elastic demand and produce at the minimum of average total cost curve. Monopolistically competitive industry produces a lower quantity and charges a higher price than purely competitive industry. Therefore, monopolistic competition is not efficient. Let us now turn to oligopoly, which is characterized by a few large producers who are price makers that engage in strategic behavior, and where the profits of one firm depend on the actions of other firms. Oligopolistic industry may produce homogeneous or differentiated products. If products are differentiated, firms engage in advertising. The entry into oligopoly is blocked. Examples of oligopolies are manufacturers of tires, beer, cigarettes, copper, greeting cards, automobiles, breakfast cereals, airlines, and the like. Behavior of firms in the oligopoly can be analyzed using game theory, the study of how people or firms behave in strategic situations. Consider an example where two firms, a duopoly, decide whether to set their price high or low. A payoff matrix can be constructed to show payoffs, profit, to each firm that result from each combination of strategies. Let's plot the matrix. Suppose there are two competitors, Uptown and Rare Air. Each has two price strategies, high and low. Each strategy has a payoff. So if both set prices to high, each will make $12. If both set prices to low, each will make $8. However, if one sets the price to low, while the other's price is high, the one with the high price will make only $6 due to lost market share, while the one with the low price will make $15. The greatest combined profits occur if both set prices to high. However, in this situation, each firm has an incentive to switch to a low price. Without coordination, both firms will end up worse off, making only $8 each. Independently lowered prices in expectation of greater profit leads to the worst combined outcome. Eventually, low outcomes make firms return to higher prices because there is a gain from collusion. Firms can agree to charge a high price. This collusion is unstable, however, because each firm has an incentive to deviate and charge a low price. One way to analyze oligopolists' behavior is to use the kinked demand model. In the kinked demand model, oligopolists face a demand curve based on the assumption that rivals will ignore a price increase and follow a price decrease. An oligopolist's rivals will ignore a price increase above the going price, but they will follow a price decrease below the going price. Therefore, the demand curve is kinked at this price, and the marginal revenue curve has a vertical gap, and price and output are optimized at the kink. This model helps explain why prices are generally stable in non-collusive oligopolistic industries. Graphically, in a kink demand model of oligopoly, a competitor and its rivals strategize versus each other. Rivals ignore price increases but match price decreases. As a result, consumers effectively have two partial demand curves, and each part has its own marginal revenue part. Profits will be maximized in the kink if the marginal cost curve intersects the marginal revenue curve anywhere in the gap. Collusion, through price control, may allow oligopolists to reduce uncertainty, increase profits, and possibly block potential entry. If oligopolistic firms produce an identical product and have identical cost, demand, and marginal revenue curves, then each firm can maximize profit using the MR equals MC rule. Firms will choose the price and quantity according to the MR equals MC rule because it is the most profitable price-output combination. One form of collusion is the cartel, a formal agreement among producers to set the price and the individual firm's output levels of a product. An example of a cartel is OPEC. Graphically, profit maximization by a cartel is identical to that of a monopoly. Firms are effectively sharing the monopoly profit and produce quantity and charge the price that monopolists would. Cartel-type oligopoly, just like monopoly, is inefficient. Collusive oligopolies are not very common because of obstacles to collusion, such as antitrust law, which prevents cartels from forming. In addition, demand and costs may be different across firms. Sometimes there may be too many firms to coordinate. Most importantly, there are strong incentives to cheat. If rivals charge prices lower than collusive price, then the demand curve of the firm charging the collusive price will shift to the left as its customers turn to its rivals, and its profits will fall. The firm can retaliate and cut its price too. However, all firms' profits would eventually fall. Recessions increase excess capacity and strengthen incentives to cheat, while high profits attract potential entry. Oligopolists have sufficient financial resources to engage in product differentiation through product development and advertising. Advertising has positive and negative effects. Positive effects include enhanced competition, reduction in consumer search time, direct and indirect search costs, and easier introduction of new products. Negative effects of advertising include altering consumers' preferences in favor of an advertiser's product and monopoly power promoted by brand loyalty.